Alrighty there. Alright, everyone. My name is Joseph Huerta, also known as Big Mama Frank. We are underway with round 3 of our Division 3 championship for Season 10 on F123. We are here at Spain, and I'm going to tab out for 1 second. Get my telemetry here up top. Wrong window. Okay, alright, so yeah, sorry about the black screen there. We are full wet. We are full wet for the race. We are dry quali and full wet for the race. Just cannot get away from the rain this weekend. So that's exciting. And OG, if you're here in the stream for some reason, turn your telemetry on, nerd. So yeah, so that means we may just see everyone burn all their tires if they went softer on the tire allocation. Let's see, we have a couple of cars already on track. We have Kaginis in the Haas, J Street in the Alfa Romeo, right behind him. And if I can press the right button here, this is our current standings going into round 3 for Division 3. We are looking at Avira, holds a slim little lead there over Joel Guron for the D3 Championship, and Alfa Romeo doing quite well for themselves. Very good draft, getting J Street in that second pick for them. And AlphaTauri in P2, looking very spicy so far here. Ferrari all the way in last place, and Red Bull in the middle. I think those numbers might be a little bit messed up, but that's alright. Whatever. Number counting is for rich people. Wrong button? Alright. Sometimes hotkeys are too hard. So we have J Street on his first push attempt, right behind Kagenis. We'll hop on Kagenis here. The little first person here. 21.659 for Kagenis in the first sector. J Street actually a little bit slower than that. Now, one thing to kind of keep in mind for this track, with the removal of that final chicane in Sector 3, there are very few corners here, so it's very few opportunities to make up time if you are to lose it. So you have to be perfect on every single corner if you want to have the best lap you possibly can. We kind of saw in Division 1 and Division 2 that the splits were quite narrow for the most part. It's a quick lap, so the slowest and fastest laps will be relatively close together. Let's see what we got with Kagenis with a 12.698. Okay, or J Street, who was actually slower in the first sector, almost 2/10, smokes Kagenis to the rest of that lap, and with a 12.1. My own personal prediction for this qualifying session, we will be looking at likely a somewhere in the mid-11s as pole is my guess. We have Okage actually setting purple sector 1, going into this hairpin to finish his second sector. We have Roldy 29.1. So yeah, with this lap, he may be in position to go for pole. We have Campbell also a little bit behind him, or actually a little bit ahead of him, going into this final corner. Easy flat there for him. What does he give us? 11.9, first one into the 11s there. And we have Roldy right behind him. What did he finish with? Roldy looks like he invalidated his lap. So his lap was a 12.069. But Campbell, Mr. OG, is the first one into the 11s. Chonk with a rough 19.4 for his first attempt. And looking at this, I believe we have man in the box on his first flyer. And this final corner is so important you're able to maintain a flat. Ooh, huge lift for a qualifying lap. Generally with the setups we've had with Red Bull this week, it's usually easy flat, so we're maybe a little bit conservative on that first go. 12.3, so not too bad for man in the box on his first go. We have Garrett Elder On his first flyer here, Garrett Earl actually breaking into the 10s in his time trial time. 10.997, I believe, is what his time trial time was when he finished earlier this week. Purple Sector 1 for him with a 21.632. Around that hairpin. Take as much curb, or use as much traction as you can on the exit here. Very heavy on the brakes there, but Garrett is an ABS user. Running into the back of this Haas here. Let's see if he gets out of his way. Does so successfully. Garrett, his middle sector, 28.886. And Avira actually just set 11.5. So there it is, right at my anticipated pole time. With a purple sector 2 and a purple sector 3. Let's see what Garrett has. Garrett's just behind him in the middle sector from Avira. It should be right behind Avira, if not in front of him. Okay, Garrett with 11.453. Over a tenth quicker than Avira. So yeah, he nailed that final sector. Almost 2/10 quicker than Avira. And looking back, looks like we have everyone's favorite driver, Big Fart 69, Lokesh, finishing a lap there at 15.1. Drained his entire battery there. Must have had his battery on quite quickly going into that lap. And that, I think, concludes the first stint for everyone there. Everyone else has already completed a fast lap or is on a slow lap now. Look at Stars, see where he's at. Okay, there we go, Stars, okay. Stars with 21.690, not quite purple, even though the map does show purple. Still a solid first sector time. Very shallow on the exit there. Heavy on the brakes, kind of blows that apex a little bit. Let's see, does he hold it flat through this corner? Yeah, easy flat there. A little wide of that apex also. A little hesitant on the power. Big little kind of a slide there on exit. Awkward line going through there and kind of another little bit of a power slide. Alright, let's see, does he stick it flat? Ooh, lift and a downshift. 12.6, so respectable time for Stars, even with that rough second half of the lap there we caught with him. And looking at our timing boards now, we have Kiwi, I believe, is the first one out for his second stint. So we will ride on board with him as he comes around on his out lap. I'm sorry, we actually have Kagenis here on a push lap. 21.710 on his first sector. Very deep on that hairpin. Looks like we have Joel in there. Let's see what we get from Kagenis here on the second push attempt. 12.698 to a 12.4, 2.5 improvement for Kagenis there. And once we got that, let me go ahead and get Joel in the lobby. I just invited Eruption. Please don't join Eruption. Alright, hopefully that gets him there. Yeah, Zux has joined. Alright, so now we have P2 and Championship in the lobby finally. So let's kind of get our bearings here and see where we're at. I believe we have Chonk on a... No, he just finished the time. Oh, he is just pushing 4 laps on those tires. Okay, looking back, looks like Chonk is just pumping some laps in. His teammate just finished his lap, so he'll come in behind him. A lot of people out on outlaps right now. And again, telemetry shows 100, just lightning storm, lightning storm, lightning storm the entire race. So we are full wets. And remember, we are a no park for a league. So our drivers will have the opportunity to swap to more wet-oriented setups, you know, raise a little bit of the rear ride height, add a little more rear wing, increase tire pressures, things like that. Looking around the map, looks like we have, I believe that would be OG with a big lift going into the final corner there on his second push attempt here. He was the first driver to get into the 11s. Let's see what kind of improvement we can get from him. Really solid turn 1. Very aggressive on the power going through turn 2 and into turn 3. So far, very smooth for OG. Very solid for big, kind of a big snap there on the power coming out of turn 7. Turn 8, whatever corner that is. OG is just over his original time. Interesting, our reserve AK popping in and then immediately being retired and then leaving the session. Maybe have the retirement glitch. And OG crosses the line, improves by 1/10.5 to an 11.7, still P3. And behind him we have a Mercedes of Leo Hudson up to P4 with 11.9. A Fiera improving with 11.4. Team Principals is a little crazy. Leo Hudson replacing Snaz Monkey in that second Mercedes seat. And FYI, for anyone curious, it was a unanimous 10-0 approval vote for Leo Hudson to replace that seat. Even though I think they're crazy, they voted for it, so their funeral. A lot of people crossing the line there. Let's see what we got. Man in the box just finished his lap, 12.3. So an improvement from a 12.419. Pratty about to start his lap. We have a Haas, I believe. Let's see. Again, it's starting his lap, so we'll ride on board with him as he goes for his, I believe, second push lap. Oh, Kagenis into the wall and he is out. So he finishes the session with a 12.451. That was a big shunt. Whew. That is kind of the place where, that is one of the trickiest corners on the calendar in general. Very easy to overdo the throttle there and just run it right into the wall. Now, one thing that's starting to happen now is the rain percentage is going up, so it's possible we might see drops of rain before people actually start their final flyer here. J-Street going back into the pits. Let's see, we have Petrosy pushing, we have Rigraff coming around the final two corners. Quite a bit of time down on his lap, or quite a bit of an improvement, excuse me. 12.2 puts him up to P6 for Rigraff. Over 1 second of an improvement there. And Petrosy here pushing on likely his final attempt in his McLaren. 13.172. About to cross that Sector 3 line. See how much of an improvement he has so far. Oh, just about even with his initial attempt. Really deep, so a lot of onto that slippery green surface. Ooh, big snap of oversteer there. Probably puts an end to his attempt here, so he does have a chance to go into the pits and put on fresh boots. Ooh, big snap, dodges the wall. Nice job there by Hetrasy. Let's see, I believe we have Joel on his first push. Nope, Joel's still in the pits. We have Lokesh with 3% battery pushing through the first sector. Lokesh, who has, as far as I can tell, is still on the same set of tires he started the qualifying. Yeah, he has 2 fresh sets of soft still. Not sure what's the decision here is. He's up to 14% wear on these softs. Man in the box on the track behind him. See if we can find somebody on a lap here. I believe we will have Garrett Elder pushing for his final attempt. We actually have Aaron Green retiring. I believe he just retired in the pit lane. Garrett Elder currently sitting in P2 just behind Avira by less than a tenth. Garrett pretty even with his time, just a little bit over it. Strong exit, but a big kind of kick of power there. May have cost him a little bit of wheel on the wheel spin. Less aggressive with the brakes here, probably the better way of doing that through that corner. Should be flat through this corner into this single DRS straight of this track. Not counting that. Somebody had to set it. Excuse me. Garrett kind of running into this traffic here, people starting their final go. Let's see how much this affects him. Remember, only needs about half a tenth to beat Avira's other time. Bit of a slowdown there. Let's see. 11.304 beats him by literally just 1/1000th less than a whole tenth for Avira. But where is Avira now? Avira is on his push lap. Goldie has retired from the session. He has retired in the pit lane. Here's Avira going in towards here. We also have Joel pushing behind him, so we'll get back to him as soon as Avira crosses the line. Avira setting a purple sector 2, so now Garrett's pole is looking... I guess Garrett's potential pole is looking like it's in a lot of trouble. As Avira rounds the final 2 corners. Easily flat through there, very smooth. 11.364. Garrett is still on pole. Now let's get back to Joel. Where is he at? Final 2 corners for Joel on his first actual push attempt. That was a little awkward looking. Oh, not even close. 11.809 for Joel, but it does put him in P4. Get Pratty on a push lap still. Pratty into the pits. I believe that'll do unless Hetrasy is still pushing, but he goes well wide at the end of the hairpin there. And that'll do it for his final push lap. And that'll do it for our qualifying in Division 3 here at Spain. With Garrett Elder putting it on pole. Very much the expectations, although Avira always seems to pull something out of his hat in these Division 3 races. And again, while we're just taking a look here at the standings again, some of these numbers are a little out of order. I think the constructors' images are looking a little bit rough, but Garrett Elder, Mr. Richard Long, has had a bit of a rough start to his season, but putting him on pole here and putting this one through to having a good result here will definitely help his chances going towards the rest of the season. But top 4 for both Avira and Joel, and OG with P3 there in qualifying. Let's drop that down as load into the race. And remember, this is going to be a full wet race, so it's anyone's guess who's going to win this. And here we go. Like I said before, we are full wet here at Spain for the entire duration of this race. The last time we raced here in TRL, I believe Labib was a part of this race. I see him in the chat here. Back in Division 4, they had to run this entire race in full wet conditions like this. I think it changed a little bit, but yeah, generally races like this can be a little bit miserable because it's just they take forever, and it's just really hard conditions to drive in. Like this is one of these tracks where you just want to throw it into corners at high speed and kind of just go around, but you can't do that when it's full wet. You just kind of have to roll the car through as much as you can and be real gentle with the brakes and the throttle. So we won't see, until the race starts, my telemetry weather will not update and show me any kind of variance in the weather, but from all I can tell right now, it's just wet, 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 wet. 7 pips of wet here, so I don't think it's going to change. So last week at Canada, we did have 4 safety cars in Division 3. It did kind of mix up the order quite a bit. We did see Garrett Elder kind of struggle with the strategy towards the back end there, and Avira and Joel kind of capitalizing a lot on the strategy with those safety cars. So there's always a chance for more safety cars here. Remember, Canada was full dry. This is full wet, and so I'm assuming I will assume that the newer people like Lokesh may struggle. And here we go. We have the lights coming out now, and here we go. Solid start for Garrett. Looks like everyone is on the full wet tires. Garrett, oops, wrong button. Under no threat. Going to turn 1. Avira trying to cover off Joel, but Avira just sends it, and he's getting spun by Joel. Ooh, a big send from Avira. Tried to come back across the front of Joel there. He gets half spun. I wonder if anyone has damage after that. Big gap for Garrett there after Joel and Avira come together. And Leo all the way down into P10. Avira all the way down to P5. Joel all the way... Where is Joel? Joel is in P6 now, but Garrett, big lead. A little bit of tap there from some people. As we follow man in the box here, going into turn 4. And whew, Leo Hudson getting really close to him. Like I said, everyone on the full wets here. And yeah, no one will be able to go to the... Likely will be able to go all the way to the end on full wets. Likely to do at least one pit stop. Garrett Elder with a really big jump, but Chonk actually doing a good job of catching him within half a second of Garrett Elder in the lead. OG holding his own in P3, and Kiwi, who had his first podium in round 1 this season, can smell another one of those podiums in that AlphaTauri. Looks like we have a bit of a battle. We have AK, I believe, we start at the back of the grid. For McLaren as a reserve is already all the way back up into all the way up in P11. Went around the outside through the second to last corner of Stars. And in front of him, the first real big gap of our race between Man of the Box and Kagenis. These camera angles are not showing us what's happening at all. Back here, Leo Hudson lost a couple of positions after getting up to P10 in the early stages of lap 1. Kind of with AK here, he's just kind of making a lot of kind of quick work of a lot of this, the back half of this field so far. Already right up on the back of Kagenis. It looks like he's going to send it. Oh no, backs out of turn 4. Leo Hudson going around the outside of Stars there. Again, that move done. Back up into P11 for Leo Hudson. Man in the Box starting to lose time. Chonk up here actually closing the distance to Garrett Elder. Garrett, it looks like he went with a significant underfuel. We already see his fuel light on. We did see in the races the other day that fuel was... Ooh, big snap from Garrett there. No warning, I believe. But Chonk may have a really nice run on him here. Chonk dumping that battery OG setting the fastest lap. Chonk has a really good run on Garrett Elder. And he's sending it on the inside of Garrett Elder into turn 1. Garrett Elder backs out. But Chonk takes the lead of the race into lap 3. Honestly, looks like Garrett's kind of struggling a little bit because now OG has a good run on Garrett also. And back towards the back, AK making another overtake on Kagenis. Look at position change. That is 10 positions gained for AK already. 7 positions for Chonk. So he must have had an insane start. Maybe being helped out a little bit by the collision between Avira and Joel. Back here we have Avira right on the tail of Kiwi, but Chonk is actually kind of building a gap between him and Garrett. Garrett kind of, like I said a second ago, looks like he's struggling just a little bit. Yellow flag. Looks like we have Kagenis spun around at turn. Oh no, no, not our boy Big Fart 69 Kagenis. How dare you? How dare you cause him to spin with your ghosted car? Back up to the front, we have a really close battle from P2 to P5. Chonk building a solid gap to the rest of this field, for the rest of this little group here. Setting the fastest lap of the 27.6, so that's quite a bit of battery left. But here we look like a Avira going and making a move on Kiwi. Really big run, using a lot of battery there. Does get that move done. And in front, Garrett Elder actually getting overtaken by OG, and we have a safety car actually. I just noticed that. So right before that safety car, OG actually overtook Garrett. Now he is in P2. And looks like Lokesh still has his front wing, so he may have caused a safety car by doing a little bit of spinning there. So that is our first safety car of this race, and as it currently stands, Chonk will be our safety car restarter, likely in 2 or 3 laps from now. Pratty getting the drive-through under the safety car. Now remember, at this point, we can probably see, if we go look at anyone here, we see an insane delta on Garrett Elder's dash, 1.42. Pratty with another drive-through, so that dude's just either struggling with something or he's just ignoring his delta. And yes, as a matter of fact, you can in fact have more than one drive-through penalty. So Pratty with 3 drive-through penalties. That is quite unfortunate. So that means Pratty will have to serve 3 drive-through penalties. Effectively, as soon as the race starts, he'll have to go into the pits 3 times in a row without being able to change his tires, or he'll be disqualified. Something's happening up here with Avira. What happened to Kiwi? Did Kiwi pit? Kiwi pit. Okay. Very gutsy call from Kiwi to go on fresh tires. Tire wear so far is quite low. He's only 7% on his tires. No shot he's putting on intermediates. Okay, this is not the right strategy call. He just literally put himself from fighting for a podium to putting himself literally at the back of the grid. So I'm not sure who gave him that call. But yeah, like I said, he's going from 7% wets, 8% now for Chonk. There's a bit of a tire drop off at 5%, 12%, 25%. So I'm not sure what the idea is here. Something happening between Leo Hudson, I think, into the pits also. Leo Hudson spinning. Behind the safety car, losing a significant number of positions. And let's see, still has his front wing, I believe. Oh, yep, end plate's still there. As far as I can tell, no damage for Leo, but I'm sure his ego is a little bit damaged after that one. Also note, AK, who had gained 10 positions from the start of the race, actually pit as well. So he is back to the back of the grid. Maybe he just wants to have some more fun overtaking. But he's clearly showing that he has quite a solid amount of pace for wet racing. Likely at least one more lap before the safety car comes in and we restart this race. But to look at their tire information here, we have two people on fresh wets. We have Kiwi down in P13 who gave up almost 9 positions to give that up. Or excuse me, 9 positions to get that tire advantage, which really isn't that much at this point, but it may be the strat. Maybe they have an idea if they can go to the end, which may be possible. Considering, again, the tire wear here has shown to be quite low. We have AK trailing at the back. Hopefully he can catch up before the end of this lap so we can get this race back underway. But in terms of the top 5, we have Joel and OG are the only ones with track limit warnings, I believe, or at least warnings showing in telemetry. Just in terms of tire context here, everyone has 3 sets of fresh wet tires, so that should be more than enough to kind of have a lot of different opportunities to make plays in regards to strategy. So we have everyone has only used 1 tires except for the 2 I mentioned before, AK and Kiwi. And then unfortunately Pratty back here with his 3 drive-through penalties. Looks like AK has finally caught up with the safety car queue, and we should be back. There it is, safety car in this lap. I'm not sure what happened to Chonk. He must have had a little bit of a spin there, because now OG leads the safety car queue. And let us see when he decides to go. It'll be interesting. We have a lot of different options here in the wet. Still not going, just holding that there. Looks like he's wanting to go now. And there he goes. There goes OG. Right into the final corner. A little bit of a snap. Kind of caught Garrett napping a little bit. Oh, spoke a little soon. Garrett's kind of closing that gap. A lot of battery being dumped here, I'd imagine. Pratty into the pits, try to serve that first of his 3 drive-through penalties. Avira get a penalty, 5-second speed in the pit penalty for Pratty. Unfortunate race for him. But with the amount of safety cars, he may be able to stay on the lead lap, or the amount of potential safety cars, excuse me, he may be able to stay on the lead lap. But Avira really close to Garrett, Garrett really close to OG. Back in the back, we have a battle between Kiwi and Roldy. Kiwi on those fresh set of tires, big send into turn 4. Roldy giving him a ton of space, and Kiwi getting that move done. In front of him, we have Rigraff and Snoop Francis going at it. Snoop Francis backing out, going into this corner. Bit of a gap forming between P5 and P6, as Aaron Green is kind of getting gapped by the lead pack there. AK overtaking McGinnis. Looks like something happened to Leo Hudson. A bit of a spin, and now he is... Ooh, a lot of wheel spin there. Now he falls to 5 seconds behind P16 of McGinnis. But the top 5 kind of making a league of their own, but actually Aaron Green was able to close that up. So a bit of fighting there, allowing them to stick with that train. So we have something of a non-traditional DRS train, as there's no DRS in the wet, from P1 down to P13. And we have Avira making a move on Garrett Elder up towards the front. Garrett staying in there. Looks like he's overtaking. Ooh, Haas going really deep there. Chonk. Looked like he almost cut the corner. Back here again, we have another battle between Kiwi and Snoop Francis. Kiwi getting that move done on Snoop Francis with the fresher tires. Should have a bit of a pace advantage, although not a huge amount. Chonk actually falling back behind Joel, and Joel really close to Garrett there. A little bit of a tap from Joel. Pratty with another speeding in the pit lane penalty. Joel having a really good run there on Garrett, who just seems to really be struggling in the wet right now. So Joel moves up into our podium positions. OG maintains the lead of the race, but Avira is our championship leader, is right on his heels. We have a spin there from Snoop Francis, lost a lot of positions really quickly. A battle here between AK and Roldy. AK kind of slow, causing some people to have to get out of the way here. Roldy maintains the position for now. Back up towards the front, we have Stars battling Man in the Box here. Man in the Box in P7, Stars in P8. Very close behind him, dumping his battery, but quite a ways behind Man in the Box here. Back up towards the front. Chonk now overtaking Garrett Elder. Garrett Elder just falling down the order. And it looks like the early season blues for Garrett may be continuing here. Ooh, I think that's Roldy we have who went off. Roldy went off. Looks like he still has his front wing. Lost quite a few positions there by going off into turn 1. Back here, Kiwi with the battle, kind of making a move on J Street here. These new tires are doing things for Kiwi, but again, he wasn't P4 when he pit. Still a lot of work to do to catch back up to where Chonk is right now. J Street able to hold that position. Rigrav in that battle as well. Big dump from Kiwi here. Kiwi going to try to make a move around the outside going into this hairpin here. A little bit of a tap between him and J Street. Rigrav now down the inside of Kiwi. But Kiwi is able to maintain his position behind J Street. And just behind them we have AK, who's already overtaken quite a few people this race. At least, I would say 15 overtakes, if not more. Oof, Kiwi tapping J Street, causing himself to go really deep, and J Street being... Oof. Fortunate move from Kiwi there. J Street's still okay in the race. Garrett Elder almost 3 seconds down from Joel, who overtook him to get into those podium positions. Oh, and J Street getting a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. Must have had some sort of illegal overtake moment there. Big battle happening there. Pratty has left the session. Oh, man! Oh, that, I believe, was Kiwi. That just... Him and Kagenis just came together and went flying off the track. So in one lap, that's 2 incidents between Kiwi and another driver. And that does cause a yellow flag, but no safety car. OG still holds the lead of this race. Avira right behind him. Joel Garan in P3 and Garrett falling further and further behind the lead, the pack of 3 leaders here. Pratty has rejoined the race. I believe he still may have a drive-through penalty. Yeah, he still has 1 drive-through penalty he still needs to serve. Kiwi still with these fresher tires, still ain't making moves on people. But he has been caught up in a couple of incidents so far, so he's still well away from where he had hit from in P4. So far, ooh, Pratty getting disqualified for ignoring drive-through penalties, which may have been caused by him being disconnected from the session. So unfortunate race for Pratty. No points will be scored for Ferrari in this race. Kiwi and Kagenis at it again. We did see them have a little bit of an incident earlier. Yellow flag down the main straight. Oh, it must have been Pratty's car coming out of the pits or being moved off the racing surface. Kiwi gonna send it on Kagenis here. Into turn 1, a big dive, able to stick that apex. Kagenis is not giving up the fight though. The Kiwi's tires are just quite a bit better at this point. In front of them, a little bit of a battle between J Street and Stars. J Street did get a 5-second penalty from something. We did not catch it on the broadcast. I would assume some sort of illegal overtake issue. And I believe we were actually joined by our co-commentator here, Arrow, who joined us last week for the Division 3 race at Canada. Arrow, can you hear me? While we were back there looking towards the rear, Avira actually overtook OG for the race lead and is now easily pulling away from him for the race lead. Over 2 seconds now in the race lead for Avira. Joel about a second behind OG and gaining in the pursuit of Avira here.
I'm sorry, I was muted because of like my keyboard.
Yep, no worries. We have Chonk setting the fastest lap. Chonk, who is now on fresh tires, 2-lap old tires now, decided to pit. We have a yellow flag, I believe that is Lokesh down in P17, who...
No, it's Snoop Francis.
Oh, Snoop Francis having a bit of an issue. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, as AK and B-Boy Simba are fighting right now.
They are. AK pitting to the back of the grid during the last safety car, showing his pace here, now with the freshest set of tires in the top 10. 4 laps better than everyone else's. Joel has elected to go ahead and pit now to get off that first set of tires. Avira is up to 25% on those tires, so mathematically speaking, he could go to the end on these tires. It's just in these conditions, the tire deltas are quite big between old and new tires, already showing a gap of 2.3 seconds between Avira's current tire, or AK's current tires, and a fresh set of wet tires.
Yeah, you don't need to pit when it's raining. There isn't an obligation to pit. Everyone can stay on the same tires till the end.
Correct. It's just, yeah, they can say to the end, it's just a matter of if you actually want to, just because there can be a significant pace difference between those tires, as the wet tires can, once they're worn, they just have a bigger effect on their amount of grip they can have.
Yeah, well, right now, Joel is 24 seconds away from Avira. Let's see the gap in like 10 laps. Then we could talk, but maybe Avira... I don't know.
What will likely happen is that once that Joel has gone in, yep, there goes Avira. He'll have to box to answer Joel. But Joel in
because
P13.
if you wait too much, it's too late.
Yeah, and one thing we're seeing here is Joel actually running into the back of some traffic that has not pit yet. So it's probable that Avira will stay in front of him, as Joel is not able to use.
Oh no. Oh no, it's the first Alfa Romeo, I thought.
Okay. And here goes Joel overtaking Hetrasy, but Avira coming out of the pits well in front of him. I see Hetrasy coming back at Joel. Yeah, he does not send it up the inside of Joel. Probably a wise move considering he has 13 lap fresher tires. Yellow flag, I believe that is.
Oh, as the Kaganis just spun in front of Avira. And
Oof.
safety car.
And that's a safety
No,
car. So
Vietto.
OG in the lead of the race did not pit, so he has an opportunity to pit and maintain his position. Avira
Yeah,
all the
these
way
are
down
the
into
big winners.
P10. Yeah, Avira all the way down into P10, who has pit. And this will give people in front of him an opportunity to pit. So OG will definitely be really happy to see that safety car. And AK, who's going to be able to put on a fresh set of boots and go to the end of the race.
Everyone will pit right now.
And we have a 5-second penalty for Roldy, ignoring yellow flags. Unfortunate penalty for him. We still have J-Street with a 5-second penalty. So both of these guys probably have penalties that may be a bit questionable, may be an issue with the game. However, if they're going to pit, they will wind up serving that 5-second penalty and will be unable to have that penalty removed later on.
But how many... how many wet tires you get?
Everyone has 3 sets, so
3 sets, okay.
Avira is on his 2nd set now. OG is just putting on his 2nd set.
AK is on his 3rd.
AK is on his 3rd set, so this is his last set. He still has another set that are on only 10% worn if he absolutely needs them.
Yeah,
but he should be able to comfortably make it to the end. Avira stays out, and is he going to overtake OG for the race lead? Yeah, no, OG has him still, but Avira into P2, Joel into P4, AK into P3. So now we'll really see what kind of pace AK has. We've seen him overtake quite a few drivers coming from the back of the grid, but now he is in the front of the grid, so we'll really get to see what kind of pace he actually has compared to our top D3 drivers.
Everyone has cleared penalties, so...
Yep, and looking at our warning chart, we only have, I believe, Kiwi and Roldy with 2 track limit warnings. Everyone else is either on 1 or 0.
Really nice. Yeah, no, I thought Avira and Joel would lose more time than this.
I honestly thought so too. Yeah, they got right back up there, but it does give OG it kind of prevents him from getting undercut, so he is now maintaining the lead of the race. What we saw before, that Avira put a really big gap between him and everyone else, so let's see if he's able to hold that on fresh tires. Now, his tires are 1 lap better than Avira's. The only issue is Avira only did really maybe like a 3/4 of a lap in terms of racing on these tires, so he's only at 1% tire where OG is around the same. So
Lokesh didn't box yet. I think it was the opportunity to.
Maybe he may be having advice to pit as late as possible since he's in the back anyway. Ooh, he goes off the track. So he does not get lapped. So maybe some nice call strategy-wise from his team or from himself.
Yeah, you can wait 1 lap or 2, but not too much, because
so I think he can pit this lap and then catch up to the back, and he will not get lapped.
Yeah, it's fine. And he stays out.
Okay, so maybe he does not have good strategy help here. He definitely needs to pit. He is sitting at 40% tire wear on these wets, which I would imagine is more on the back end. Ooh, a big spin for him. Yeah. Definitely hard to kind of figure out how to drive in the wet, particularly for our newer people like Big Fart 69 Lokesh here. But credit to him, he has not crashed out yet or had damage, so he's done a solid job for his first full wet race, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was our issue in D2 as well. With Stry, we had this problem that tires would overheat even in the rain. So we had to box. We did one or 2 more stops than we should have. And now from sliding, because I guess he doesn't have enough grip or downforce, he has to overheat the tires, but then you start spinning more, so you overheat more of the tires. So I guess that's his problem right now. And you just gotta cool the tires down, wait for it to calm down. Maybe pit, you have a free stop.
Yeah, he definitely should pit here because the safety car is still not coming
Yeah.
in. So he should definitely just put it in the pits. Hopefully he has somebody in his ear telling him, let's go ahead and pit now, Big Fart 69, and it will
I
catch
don't
up with
think
the
he can.
grid.
Yeah, that's definitely better, but maybe even... Oh no, yeah, Regraph should tell him. Not an engineer, but... And no, he stays out.
Stays out again, okay.
Yeah,
Big
I don't
Fart
know why.
69, I believe, is the tire whisperer, and he's going to bring these puppies all the way to the end. So look at him using battery to catch up with the safety car. Good sport here. You literally use half his battery down the straight.
Yeah.
There you go. No spin this time. No spin. A little bit of a snap. A little bit of a slide, but he's sticking it. Solid
Yeah.
solid driving there from Lokesh behind the safety car.
And you... Yo! And a strong spin.
From Chonk. And Chonk we
He got
saw...
a...
Ooh, hopefully he doesn't have damage there, because we saw Chonk earlier this race was fighting for the lead of the race before having a moment dropping several
Oh,
positions, but now him at the back. It's a long way to go to get back to where he was.
yeah, Spain is a hard track when you try to learn and you discover the game and the league racing, and it's on the rain. It's really hard. My first race was on Spain in D4 in the rain. It was intermediate rain, not full road, but really hard race.
Yeah, it most certainly is. And towards the front, we have finally got the call that the safety car is going in. So now we have OG with his second safety car restart. We did have Chonk, I believe, was up there leading the safety car on the first time around, but he spun and gave the position to OG. So now this is OG's second attempt at a safety car restart. And it looks like there he goes. This is our second restart. So as far as I know, we still have potential 3 safety cars that can happen throughout the rest of this race. I have not seen a virtual safety car, but this is the second safety car. Really terrible camera work there. But now on board with Avira. Let's get this leader interval out of here. AK right on the tail of Avira. AK who just joined our server and signed up today. So it's possible he may be a little misplaced depending on the kind of pace he's showing here, but we will see. Roldy with an overtake on Hetrasy there. Hetrasy, yeah, he stuck that move. Back up towards the front. Ooh, time penalty for Big Fart 69. All the way in the back on those ancient tires, those 19 lap old tires. Garrett doing a little bit better job so far on this first lap after the safety car restart, not getting gapped. So positive for Garrett, who was struggling earlier in the race. Snoop Francis getting a move done on Hetrasy as well. AK again, right on the back of Avira. And he is dumping that battery. Is he close enough to make a move? Avira is likely dumping his battery too. Joel is in that fight as well. I'm OG. I'm just hoping and praying that these guys behind him just start battling like crazy. Give him a little bit of space to run away with this win. Right towards the back, we have Kiwi right on the tail of Man in the Box. Back in P9. Man in the Box struggling a little bit to keep up with Rigraff and P7. Almost a 2-second gap between them. AK again, just right behind Avira. Now I'm wondering if like AK being so close to Avira constantly. Is he sending it? No, he backs out going into the hairpin. With AK right on the tail of Avira so often, I'm wondering if that's preventing Avira from making an aggressive move on OG because he's worried about losing a position to the car behind. It's like AK, big run on Avira here. Still not ready to dump the battery to get in front of him. Avira a little bit, looks like a lockup sliding through turn 1 there. AK still being really, really patient behind him. Back in P7 Rigraff. Really close to Aaron Green and then AlphaTauri in P6. Back up, our closest racing here is between, oh no, back here in P17 we have Leo Hudson and Chonk, rather close. Etcher already losing the pack in front of him, so this is a 4-car battle for P14. And from the perspective of P10 stars, we see the battle between Kiwi and Man of the Box in front of him. Ooh. Big snap there, 4 stars. So looking at our tire wear, it looks like most of our drivers are around 9 and 10%, so they can easily go another 12 laps and make it to the end of this race. OG setting the fastest lap of the race. Looks like he's tired of having these people stick behind him, causing everyone else to use a lot of battery. AK so patient behind Avira, driving so close to the back of him.
Yeah, he's not using any battery, he's just waiting there, trying to get the better of Avira's mistake. He just hopes that Avira makes mistakes somehow.
Yeah, he could potentially be waiting. If he has a feeling that OG and Avira keep using battery, then he can just wait and wait until they have no battery and then make his move then. Yeah. Joel's struggling to kind of stick with him up front. We see Avira having a couple little issues there on his traction coming out of these corners, but AK is still being very patient.
Rigraff is fighting Aaron Green as well. Aaron Green really struggling to get out of corners, but he has a nice top speed, maybe a lower downforce setup, so pretty hard for Rigraff to overtake him. If he wants to, he needs to do it in sector 1 on the outside or inside with higher downforce, but the problem is he can't get close to him on the straight, so that's the issue right now. But he's really close. He's been really close for like 2 or 3 laps. Well, since the ending of the safety car.
So far, OG is kind of lower on the battery in here. Probably will be recommended that he starts trying to save a little bit of battery for the end of this race. But so far, he's doing a good job of setting the pace for this second safety car restart. Garrett kind of losing that lead train again, like it happened before the first safety car. But a very nice tight battle for these podium positions. Back towards here in P9, we have Kiwi. Looks like he's sending in on Man of the Box. Ooh, big contact. Just really late send there from Kiwi. Hopefully no damage between them, but it's all there from Kiwi for backing out, excuse me. Joel really close to AK there. A lot of battery there spent by Joel going in to the 3rd sector here on lap 23. But it's very possible that OG here in the lead is actually the slowest of all 4 of these drivers, but he's just quick enough to maintain his position there. So it's keeping all 3 of these guys behind him very, very close. Joel taking out that braking board. Oh no, Joel with a big snap, almost loses it into the wall. But he holds on to it. Gets Garrett kind of back into this lead train. Still back up here towards the front. OG around 40% battery, AK around 70, Avira around mid-50s. AK with 2 warnings, Joel with 2, Avira with 0, OG with 1. And we see Avira with a nice little run there going into turn 3, but he does back out and stay behind OG. No big moment here, but AK had a bit of a traction issue there. Half slide now. Garrett has an opportunity to get around him, and now he's in front. But it kind of puts a big gap between Joel and Avira, so Joel's going to have to do a little bit of work to catch back up with the 2 front cars. This also might help Avira be able to focus forward and make a move on OG. Right towards the back in P12, there's a big battle between J Street and Roldy. We finally see big... Oh, Roldy just crashed! That's another safety car!
Guess that's a Lokesh box.
Yeah, Lokesh finally boxes right as the safety car comes out. Roldy looks like he went into the wall. It's hard to see exactly what happened to him as we swapped to him and then swapped away right when he crashed. Oh, Garrett with the drive-through penalty. That basically kills his chance of fighting for a podium here.
Yes.
OG, but we do see OG Avira stay out. Joel and AK are pitting. Oh! AK almost crashing in the back of Joel. Maybe not expecting Joel to slow down as early as he did. But heads-up play from him by not crashing into the back of him. A lot of people pitting. Rigraff staying out. Man in the Box staying out. Snoop staying out. So we should see Joel come out in P7 or P8. Hatcher with a 5-second penalty. Leo Hudson up into P8. So P9 for Joel on fresh tires. Now, with where we're...
really want to box right now?
That's definitely an odd call. I mean, it's a very hard call. We only do have 8 laps to go in this race, and overtaking is hard here in the dry, and then even more so in the wet. So that's a lot, but the tire delta is going to be quite big. We have Kagenis going on intermediates.
On inters. Wow.
That is not going to work at all.
I don't think, yes.
Just looking at Leo Hudson's tire deltas here, his fresh wets are 1.9 seconds faster than his current tires, whereas fresh inters are only 0.7 tenths quicker. So that's not going to work out for him, unfortunately. But we're back at the front. Still have the battle with OG and Avira, who are likely going to be... One of them will likely wind up being the race winner, with all of these people pitting to the back. And the other thing is AK, who pit... I guess doesn't realize he doesn't have new tires, so he put on 10% old tire, 10%.
No, he doesn't have any new tires.
Yes, so he has old tires. So his tires are now 11% compared to Joel's 1% worn tires. So that's definitely going to put a little bit of handicap on his charge to the field here on our final few laps. Looks like we see somebody going to the pits there. Man in the Box pit, definitely questionable to pit now. That'll put him at the back of the grid.
Yeah. Because now it's lap 25. 26, sorry. 26. Maybe lap 27 is still under the safety car. Maybe 28. So you race from lap 29 to 23. So it's 5 laps of racing. Does Joel can overtake 7 people in 5 laps? That's the question.
Looking at our tire wear, OG is only at 16%. So
yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that much tire wear. So the tire delta, they're not in that big 25% drop-off area yet. They will be right at the end of the race, but the tire wear has been so light that it's going to be a big challenge for Joel to overtake all of these cars. And this isn't like this kind of the back end of the grid that he has to overtake also. This is Leo Hudson, this is Chonk, this is Snoop. Chonk already has a podium this season. Garrett Elder, former very fast driver in D2, although he will have he will pit for his drive-through. But this is a lot of people to clear, a lot of difficult people, a lot of quick people. So it's going to be a tall task for Joel to fight his way back up towards the front in such a few amount of laps.
Well, we know that Leo Hudson can be dangerous.
Oh yeah, he
Um,
absolutely can. We saw him qualify rather well in the race, but he's just had some kind of race kind of consistency issues so far with a lot of spins on his own. But I am surprised. You would think from Fort Guinness here on the inters that he would likely see that the tire temps are just raw. He's just not getting those things up to temperature, which should give him a little bit of warning to get off of these things because he's going to get smoked by everyone.
but I think Joel and AK got a bit lucky that more people boxed. Because if there were only 2 to box, they would have ended up P12, P13, and in 5 laps of racing, it's impossible to get up.
Yeah,
to
that's
first.
a very good point. Yeah, a lot of people stayed out, and a lot of people pit. So I mean, excuse me, not that many people stayed out compared to the amount of people pit. So most of the grid did pit. So we only have 7 people who stayed out. One of those is Garrett Elder with the drive-through penalty, so he will be out of this running order relatively soon after the race restarts, and we should get a restart here. I would imagine we've had 2 laps. Even if Lokesh does not catch the grid, we should restart, but it looks like he's going to catch within the next couple of corners.
So it's 6 laps of racing then. I thought it would be 5.
28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So yeah, 6 laps. And oh, Kagenis getting a penalty for crashing the back of J Street. Whew.
Maybe the inters weren't ready.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way those inters are working right now. Like, even just looking at Kagenis' tire deltas, fresh wets are over a second faster than his current set of tires, just according to telemetry. So he is definitely on the wrong tire, and this is going to hurt going into turn 1. He should definitely feel it when he gets on the brakes.
Yeah.
And again, for the 3rd time this race, we had Campbell Lowry Hart, official OG himself, doing a safety car restart for us. OG, who gained the lead of the race at the beginning and has held it for so many laps. With 6 racing laps to go, let's see, he is on that restart already. Avira with a really nice run on him already. OG going a little defensive here, but Avira is going to put his nose in here. Oh no, Avira backs out. Leo Hudson already getting overtaken by AK. I'm not sure what happened to Joel, but he is back here. He actually behind Stars and Aaron Green now. Back towards the front, we have a yellow flag somewhere. I believe we have, yeah, red pen. We have Kagenis on those inters, just not working. Definitely not the right tire strategy. We have AK going around. Looks like some big collision happened because AK went around. He's all the way down into P15. But again, Joel on those fresh sets is actually behind Stars, so he has even more. Yeah, we have B-Boy Simba who's behind him now. Joel is in front of him, but not a lot of laps to go, and Stars really close to Chonk there. Chonk struggling going through that corner. And I think we're going to see Stars make a send around the outside here. Yeah, big lunge around the outside. Can he stick it on that slippery green section? He does a good job. Yeah, he sticks it. Now Joel is really close behind Chonk. Big snap of oversteer. Not a lot of space here to squeeze through, so this is very brave from Joel, but he has to. Ooh, big uh-oh, Joel. Oh, side-by-side through here is not where you want to be. Garrett going in to serve that penalty, and Joel knows he has to back out. Try to get Chonk going into turn 1. Star's actually up in a P5, so another really good position for Williams, just like last week. But Garrett serving that drive-through, falling all the way down to P14, maybe P15 here. Joel getting that move done on Chonk going around the outside, but still at the front. OG is still holding his own in front of Avira. Reargraph falling behind, but he did have to clear. But Garrett did kind of give him a bit of a space, or did leave a bit of a vacuum there in the line by going into the pits for his drive-through. Still a lot of work for Joel. He's still behind Stars, who's on the same age tires as he is. Vera getting really close to OG. Small battery advantage there for Vera. Both of them using a lot of battery. Still a lot of laps left.
Speaking of Williams, really great race from the both of them right now.
Yeah.
P4, P5.
Looks like they swapped Snoop and Stars there.
Yes,
to kind of give Stars a shot to catch up with Rigraff here. 2.3 seconds down. We have a yellow flag behind. Looks like Hetrasy. Man, somebody caught up in something, but nobody all the way around here. Looks like just in front of Leo Hudson here. A lot of cars going all over the place.
Now Francis has to defend from Joel to let Stars get away.
Really late defensive move from Snoop there, but does get out of the way, and Joel is going to easily clear him going into turn 1 and 2. Kiwi back here overtaking ooh, big battle between Kiwi and Chonk. Chonk trying to stick it on the inside, but Kiwi's tires are just so much better than Chonk's at this point in the race. Alright, so here we go. 1.7 seconds from Stars to Rigraff. So the first runner of these new tires versus the last 3 of these old tire runners with 2.5 laps to go. Or I'm sorry, 3.5 laps to go. J Street with a penalty. Chonk with a penalty. Leo Hudson. Looks like J Street went around. Very challenging conditions out here for everyone. Vera really close to OG, but OG still holding the race lead.
Joel getting purple sectors. Even though he's in traffic.
Yeah, Joel on these fresh tires. Quite a ways away from Stars to make a move. Joel setting the fastest lap of the race with a 26.6. 2 seconds, over 2 seconds a lap faster than OG on this lap. So, but Stars in front of him though, big challenge to overtake, as they are on the same strategy. But Stars is closing the gap to Rigraff. So let's see, Joel dumping his entire battery, trying to make a move here. Nah, no way in that corner. But he does send Stars, goes a little bit deep, and I believe even McLaren stopped Hetrasy in off the track in turn 2. Back up here, Joel. Whew, Joel going really deep, trying to make a move on Stars, just trying to make Stars make a mistake. We saw him go deep a little bit before this into turn 3, or turn 4, excuse me. But Joel not able to get any kind of move done. Back up front, Avira with 83% battery, OG with a lot of battery. AK back into the top 10 with an overtake on Leo Hudson. Joel still trying to just find some play to get around Stars because he knows he's faster, but Stars just has the tires to defend. Ooh. And is this it for Joel? Stars going a little bit deep. Joel kind of trying to stick it around the outside going into the final 2 corners here, but there's not a lot of room here. But back behind him, actually, Kiwi and Snoop Francis still fighting. Snoop Francis actually holding the position there between him and Kiwi. Kiwi's tires are a little bit older than Stars and Joel's, though. With 6 seconds, so unlikely that Kiwi, if he passes Snoop, isn't going to be able to make up any more positions after that. But we are now on the second to last lap. Joel can see the leader right there with these new tires, but he has so far to go with only 1.5 laps left to go. Really nice run on Stars here. Going to turn 4, he has the inside line, he just has the move done. How much more can he do with these fresher tires? Avira really close to OG. Both of them still have a lot of battery. And back over here to Joel. Joel finally caught up to Rigraff on these older tires. What can he do on this lap? Remember, we have one more lap after this. Back here in P11, man in the box, right behind Leo Hudson. Kind of the same situation that Joel is in. Joel is really close to sending it around the outside of Rigraff through this hairpin into the final sector. Oh, getting squeezed off the track, but he's sticking it. He's holding his position. He knows he has more grip. Rigraff fighting back as Stars is there too. Joel easily clears through Rigraff, and Rigraff gets overtaken by Stars also. So now going into the last lap, Joel with about half his battery left. Much better tires. What can he do? Avira probably sending his entire battery. OG going a little bit defensive. Avira with a really nice run here. Does not send it on OG, but that gives Joel an opportunity to get in front. Joel, OG goes a little bit deep into turn 1. Avira going around the outside into turn 2. Oh, and Joel's going to sneak through in front of OG also. Remember, Joel's on these fresher tires. He's in P2 now. Oh, tragedy for OG there. But now we have a battle for the lead between these fresh tires for Joel. 10 lap fresher than Avira. Avira just parking it there, but Joel is going to have so much grip on this exit. Oh, this tire difference. So rough for Avira. Oh no, Joel punts Avira. No. Oh no. Oh no. OG now fighting for the position with Joel.
And he starts in podium position.
And now starts in podium position. OG gonna send it down the inside of Joel. Does Joel just let him go, knowing he's gonna lose the race with that penalty for the punt? OG sticking around the inside. Stars in there too. Where is Stars? He's right behind OG. Joel able to hold position in front of OG. OG's in P2 right now. You would imagine he will have the race win if he finishes here. Final 2 corners. Joel comes around the final corner after the punt on Avira. Avira all the way down to P5. And Joel will finish the race in P1. However, like I said, he did punt. He did punt Avira, so if the stewards get involved here, OG might be the race winner.
Yeah. So we're interviewing OG Stars and Regraph, right?
Maybe we can expand it just a little bit, yeah, because we will have maybe a 4-player podium here. Let's do that. That's a good idea, Era. Let's go with an extended podium here. Oh, what a spicy last two laps of this race. Tragedy for Avira there, being punted back into P5 from the race lead. But what a race from OG. Did all of our safety car restarts tonight. Held the lead for basically the entire race up until the last lap, when Avira and Joel were able to take the position from them.
Yeah, great race from all of them. Beautiful strategy from everyone. Everyone tried to take a guess on what would work and what wouldn't. It was pretty much half-half. Half of the grid stayed and half pitted. In the end, it's OG's strategy that works every day.
We did
follow OG.
Yeah. I mean, we did see. I mean, we were questioning whether Joel could actually get those positions back with so few laps, but he's able to cut through the field, both him and Stars, able to get up to the front of the grid after having to overtake so many cars. But there was a little bit of an accident in front of them.
Yeah, and to overtake, he pushes someone.
So that'll definitely be a controversial moment that the stewards will have to take a look at this week. But for right now, Joel is our race winner with OG and Stars with their first podium of the season.
Yeah.
And there's our finishing order there. Leo Hudson with a solid outing in his return. Stu Francis actually falling down to P10 after fighting within the top 5 with those old tires, but just those old tires just really giving up on him towards the end. And so with that, let's take a look. Let's see who we've got in the waiting room. It looks like we have everyone here. All right. All right, I guess we'll just go ahead and start with...
So don't we start by Regraph?
Well, Regraph is not in the waiting room. Maybe he doesn't feel like he has a podium. He may wind up with one. So maybe he will hold off on that. So we'll go ahead and with in P3 on track, we have Stars with his first podium of the season. I don't even know first podium ever. I don't know if Stars ever actually had a podium. I have in front.
My second podium. I had one at Brazil.
Okay, second podium is ERL history. Stars. How do you feel after that race?
I had at the start I was scared because I had no practice in the wets, and you could watch my lap 1. It's very noticeable. And after the second safety car, it's like I don't feel like I have pace. So it's just like I was back in P12. Like I'm just gonna try to drive top 10. I'll be happy. And then I don't know what happened. I just found pace and just was able to keep up with the leaders. People around me were making mistakes, and I just kept up.
Well, you and other drivers like Joel, you guys had 10 lap better tires than the people in front of you after you guys pit after that last safety car. So that must have, so that gave you guys a pretty big advantage there. When you
Oh
guys,
yeah, I felt like I could just drive up on them. Yeah.
yeah, you had a big advantage. So I mean, I know you have your team principal Fred here. I'm sure he's he's very proud to have another Williams podium on the season so far. Fred, how do you feel about your driver stars?
I feel amazing right now, you know? Like, I'm buzzing, right? Stars was, in my opinion, was not supposed to get a podium this whole season, but he's done it. He's made me proud. Snoop is making me proud right now, you know? Thinking Snoop would DNF a whole season. He's actually finished 2 races in a row. I'm honestly, I'm chuffed right now.
All right, guys.
And-
Well, oh, go ahead.
And Freddy, how do you feel about your D2 driver, the second one?
Oh yeah, no, they're kind of stinky.
Yeah, I
They
guess.
spin a lot. Their nationality is not that good.
It's
Yeah,
gonna get
it's
better,
not
I
there,
swear.
but
Yeah, no,
yeah,
great race from
uh,
Williams. In the end, really beautiful podium stars. I was hoping you'd
Thank you.
overtake OG in the last lap, so because Joel is definitely getting a penalty, so you
I
could have a
could
win.
have.
But
So when they were hard battling and it was like to the last sector, I thought about just sending it, but it's like I thought, I'm not risking spinning. I'm just going to drive
I
it to the
saw.
podium. I'm exceeding way above expectations here, so I'm just going to finish where I finish. If there is any penalties, I'd gladly take P2, maybe P1 if something strange happens. But I'm very happy with P3.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
well,
I saw.
well, Fred and Stars, congratulations on this great finish for you guys, and I look forward to how you guys do for the rest of the season.
yeah.
Thank
you. Cheers for the broadcast, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for filling in for us the other night, Fred. Thank you. All right, and so so now we have Rigref in the waiting room. So Rigref finished P4, but with the Joel punt on Avira on that final lap, we're gonna bring him in with the kind of just in case he does get a podium, we'll interview him like he is. So we have with us Rigraf potentially with the P3 finish here with a potential penalty to the race winner Joel. So we're bringing you in for a little interview, Rigraf. How do you feel after your potential second podium already of the season?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. With the penalties and stuff. I mean, yeah, happy if I get a podium. Happy for what it was anyway, but probably the most frustrating race I've ever raced.
Really? Why do you say that?
I just getting, just like having to steer lap one, having to steer around cars at wreck, and then just get stuck behind people and can't pass. It felt like people were running less downforce than me because I would catch them through the second sector, and then they would pull away into the third and the first.
Okay, that does make sense. So what were you thinking in that final safety car? What kind of had you decide not to pit going into that final safety car?
How hard it has been to overtake. I did not want to pit and go back to the back and have to do it all again. I was like, I'm up here and I'm staying.
Yeah, that's fair because you may have been maybe like P14 or something as you actually had pit, so that would have been a lot of work to do to get to where you actually finished up. So that's a fair strategy call there. Era, did you have any questions for him?
No, I haven't watched the whole race. I'm sorry, I came late. But from what I watched, I feel like Rigref was one of the greatest driver to ever live in D3 before, and for the last couple of races, he lost a bit of its glory from the past, but now it's getting back. He's always been a great driver, to my opinion, and right now seeing him battle for podiums and maybe later for win with Jordan Avira, I think it's where he deserves to be, and if he keeps working, it's gonna be fine, and he might fight for the championship again.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So Rigraff, solid start to your season. How do you feel about Vegas? That is our next track. That is our next track next weekend. How are you feeling about that track?
Yeah, definitely have to put in the work to gain the confidence, but I'm ready.
All right. Well, I look forward to the rest of the season, Rigraff. Thank you.
All right, later, guys.
All right. And then after Rigraff, sorry for pulling you out of your conversation, Mr. Campbell, but P2 on the official finishing, potential race win, depending on how the stewards rule things. Joel did punt Avira.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling after that one, man? You led like the entire race. You
I
did all
know,
3
dude.
safety cars. How are you feeling?
That's what I mean. That's what kind of sucks. I think I led. There's 33 laps. I think I led 30 of them, and I still I lost there at the very end. And I don't know if you could see on the thing. I just fucked up that last turn or that last turn one, and then I nearly died at the end. So I guess I'm grateful to be alive. But I mean, it's a little disappointing. But you'll always take a podium, always take a win. But I want everyone to know, if it was in the dry, I would have won by probably 5 or 6 seconds. So
5 or 6 seconds. So if it's in the dry, right? What are you gonna do at Vegas next week?
dude, I might get caught up in the casino, dude. I love Resort World. I seriously might not make it to the track. No, I mean, I kind of suck at I mean, I think as you could see here in this race, I'm really good out of heavy braking zones, and like Avira would be on my ass, and then I would power through, get out on the heavy traction. So maybe I'll do good next week. I've never raced it before, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too clean. But what do you think? Do you think you could battle for another race win? Do you think you might have that potential in you?
Maybe not at Vegas. I've never done it before, but if we check the schedule, in an ideal world, Canada would have been the one that I won. I think, even though I qualied horribly because I was, that was just quali things. I think I could have won that one if I qualied up front. But then if we look forward, obviously I'm gonna go for another repeat at Texas, another
Of
win.
course.
And then Silverstone, I think I have a good shot as well. So I think, I'm not saying it wins guaranteed, but I think I was a little nervous, considering myself top 5. I think I'm definitely top 4. So yeah, I think I'll be in there.
All right, strong words from our potential race winner here, barring penalties here, from OG. So thank you, OG, for speaking with us, and good luck next week.
Yep. Thank you all very much for broadcasting. Like I said last week, I really appreciate it. It's really cool on a Monday night. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
And then for our final interview of the night here, we have our race winner on track, Mr. Joel Guron. How do you feel after that final lap and that final battle there?
I mean, kind of sucks.
Yeah, it definitely looks like you'll probably fall behind Avira, I think, imagine. So maybe
I mean, I don't know.
P5 if you get a
You
penalty.
just caught me out.
Yeah.
He braked way too much. I wasn't really. I don't know. I thought I braked just enough, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, the big
Yeah,
tire
it was-
difference may have caused a bit of some unexpected performance issues between the two of you. But you decided to pit on that last safety car. Arrow here was kind of questioning that because he kind of expected you guys maybe only had 5 or 6 racing laps after the safety car came in. In order to win
Yeah.
the race, you would have had to overtake at least 9 cars. So were you just confident in yourself that you were able to do that, or
Well, I mean, in telemetry was saying the tires were like 3 seconds faster, and I mean it's a no-brainer. I know.
Yeah.
I also know how to race in the rain, even though I'm gonna get penalized probably.
Yeah, it was probably true. We saw the speed difference just on the straights. It was incredible.
I mean, I also my game tapped out for some reason and sent me back like 4 places. So I probably would have gone past everyone sooner. I got caught up in some dumb battles.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I'll take it. P5, whatever. We move.
we move on.
I don't
but-
care.
So how are you? So next week we have Vegas. At the first time we'll be racing that on this game and NCRL. How do you feel about that track?
I mean, I've only raced it on AC.
Okay. All right. You never did any MRL or anything there? You never.
Nah, we'll see.
Probably a positive thing. So yeah, we'll see. It's going to be hard to figure out how that's going to go, but
Also,
hopefully it's not too bad.
you're putting me in the grass lap one. Thank you, appreciate it. That's
Okay,
why I spun out.
maybe some more fun for the stewards this week.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Joel, for speaking with us, and nice race from you. I look forward to the rest of the season.
Me too. See you guys. Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, Arrow. So that concludes our round 3 at Spain with our Division 3. That was a solid race. And Arrow, thank you for hopping in, even though you were a little bit late. Thank you for hopping in and joining me. That was always a pleasure to have you with us. Do you have any final thoughts for our race here?
No, except I won't be there next week and the weeks after, so you'll have to find somebody else.
Hey, I enjoyed the time we had, so I appreciate that, if nothing else. So, all right. So,
no thanks.
yeah.
I'll
So,
just
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to just sign us off. So, if you had anything else to say.
No, nothing.
All right. Well, that's it for Division 3, round 3 of Season 10. So, I will see everyone next week. Same time, same place at Las Vegas. So, good night, everyone.